mode?
Yeah, it is visible on slideshow mode. You can proceed.
Good, good. The topic which is mentioned as expectation, all of you know that, and you also agree, there are times we should have expectations, right? So here we are talking more about, or we will be talking more about, how do we manage expectations? Yeah. So this is the discussion topic today. And in today's session, we'll be covering it up. What is the logical explanation of expectation and how it is formed, and what spirituality talks about expectations? I will be taking a quote from different religions and what Vedatrium talks about expectations. And lost depends upon the time availability. And we'll also have a discussion on how to manage the expectation with three core relationships in the daily routine. Yeah. First, I like to start with the question: have you ever felt disappointed because something did not go as expected? Have you ever felt disappointed because something did not go as expected? I just want you all to respond over the chat box, yes or no. There are 11 participants out there. I would like to see the response. Yes, yes. Yeah, others also can respond. I got two response. Yes, yes. Any more further responses? Yes, yes. Life is going differently than I expected, right? Very right. Well said. Mr. Deepak. Any more responses? Yes. Ramakrishna, yes. Yes, of course. Good. So, meaning now we all are in the same boat, right? When we wanted to, when in the life, when we are expecting something, when it is not happened, obviously then we will feel disappointed, right? So I think it's the right time to discuss on this. Second question: having expectation is good or not good? Good or not good? Having expectation is good or not good? If it is good, say yes. We should not have expectation, say no. I like to see the response. Good as well as no. Yes, sometimes, no, sometimes. Not good, but intentionally, but unintentionally, mind expects. Yes, well said. Any more further responses? See, we are only 11, so I just want more participation. It's a discussion. In fact, specific to Qatar, definitely, I would like to say this. I learn more from Qatar team. Yeah. So let us discuss together based on your practical experience. Any more further responses? Good. Okay. So meaning we are all in the same boat. We all agreed that at many point of time, we are dissatisfied when expectations are not meeting reality. And we also feel that expectations are required. Yeah. So definitely, then it's the right time we should discuss on how to manage the expectations. Yeah, it is very, very important. So, what is the logical meaning of the explanation? Yeah, the expectation logical definition says that mental projections or belief about how people, situations, or outcomes should unfold in the future. Yeah, our mental projection, it expects how people should behave, how situations should react, and how outcomes should come in future. In fact, these expectations are shaped by past experience, desires and goals, social norms, and personal values. For example, one of my friend who is in the process of applying and getting the driving license. As you all know, how difficult it is to get the license in Gulf countries. So passed. He has attended two attempts and he failed. And somebody also advised him that he has to pass quickly, otherwise then he has to spend more. So my friend got an expectation that at least at the third test he has to pass the exam. And the example of disease and goals, one of my other friend came with a purpose or came with a goal of 3 years. He has to spend time in the Gulf. But now 20 years over, still he's continuing the journey in Gulf. So even after 20 years, he is unable to make the passive income. So somebody has advised him, you should make passive income before you get it there or before you complete your assignment in Gulf. So his expectation is within 2 to 3 years, he has to get the passive income. It's expectation. What is the example of social norms? One of my cousin brother who is in Dubai, he is 29-year-old, and everybody in his family told him that he has to get married before 30. So there is a pressure, social pressure. So he is having the aim that he should get married this year without fail. It is his expectation. Personal values example, if I wanted to live always with honesty and integrity, and I will have a self expectation that I have to maintain this at any point of time. Yeah. So basically, in all these conditions, with some purpose, we keep expectations, which is very normal. So mental projections all about expectations, all about mental projection or belief. How it is getting formed. Human mind, we at human mind, our minds are always wired to seek control, predictability, and certainty. So naturally, we form expectations, which all you also mentioned in the chat box. Yeah, how situations should unfold and how we should perform. So in that perspective, obviously the mind tries to create expectations. But as you rightly said in the beginning of the chat, yes, some expectations are required and which are healthy, but they help. Some expectations are not if it is not managed properly, it creates problem because the expectations are mainly of subconscious. So this the gap between the expectations and the result creates friction, stress, and disappointment. For example, in the perspective of effort, if I work hard, I will succeed quickly. If we have the expectation, we should also understand the reality that life may not reward linearly. And on the relationship side, if we have expectations that they should always support me, and we should also see the reality that others have their own views. We should not expect them to react or behave as per our expectations. They have their own view. On the self performance, if you have the expectations of I must always stay strong, and it also create the pressure to us, and it also create burnout. Yeah. So that's why Shakespeare says that expectation is the root cause of all headache. Though we all agreed that we should have expectation, but many times it's only a major headache, William Shakespeare said. See, these are all the medical issues which comes if for the humans if the expectations are not managed properly. In fact, this is scientifically proven. American Institute of Stress, and when they did the research on the consequences of human expectations, They have done the research and they have got a proven evidences that these diseases come if there is a mismatch between the expectations and the reality. Mental health issues come, depression and hopelessness come, anxiety and chronic worry, burnout and emotional exhaustion, overexposure of stress hormone, elevated cortisol level, all when as a human they have taken a mini sample size and they have got evidence that when it is not getting managed properly, in fact they have given different case study for every individual. It's a very lengthy thesis paper which is available in the Google, and it says that if it is managed properly, hormonal imbalances and organ system dysregulation happens, cardiovascular disease comes, metabolic and gastrointestinal effects comes, and cognitive decline, and overall it elevated even to the mortality risk. So when we are not managing the expectations properly, all those illness are possibility to get it. So how do we manage it properly? When we have expectations, we as a human always try to focus on the expectations only as an outcome. But rather focusing on the expectations, we go to focus on intentions. If you see what is expectation, it's all outcome focused, often based on desire, attachment, and control, come with an emotional charge. If they are not fulfilled, we feel disappointed and frustrated. Often involve external forces or people that we cannot fully control. These are all expectations. What is intentions? We say that rather focus on expectations, focus on intentions. Intentions are process focused, rooted in values, presence, and alignment, or internally driven. They are all about how you show and not what happens after that. In fact, if it does not happen, what is plan B? And it creates space for acceptance, even if things not go as planned. I can give an example that one of my friend, his son has completed the 12th exam, and he wants, being in Gulf, we all have a privilege to attend through the DASA quota, and he wants his son to score good marks and get passed in DASA quota, and his expectation is his son should get admission in the NAT. So here his expectation is always in this example, he should not keep on the NAT college where he has studied, and what is the educational educational quality which he is getting when he is studying in MIT, and once he completed the course in NAT, where he is going to get a job beautifully, and what is the earnings which he is going to earn. He is keep focusing on that area only. But these are all expectations. His wish is his son has to pass and get a good mark, and he has to get admission in NAT. But if he is focusing on these expectations, that is not going to assure his results, son's results. Rather, he has to, what is intention? He has to focus how we can able to support him in studying, and if it is how beautifully he can able to give nutrition food for his best education, how we can able to give more input about other colleges as well, and also he should have the mindset that if NAT is not coming, what is next? All the success people are not come out only from the NAT. Yeah, so keeping that in mind, he should always have a plan B. So here in daily routine, everyone should focus more on intentions rather expectations. Yes, we should have expectations, no doubt. At some time, it only helps us to grow. But how do we manage? Rather focus only on the output, focus on the intentions. That is the message in this. I also would like to quote some spiritual quotes from different religions. Bhagavad Gita said, you have a right to perform your duty, but not to the fruits and actions. Meaning, the core of Karma Yoga. It talks core of Karma Yoga. Focus more on intentions, detached from the results. And also, Quran quote. And it may be that you dislike the thing which is good for you, and that you like the thing which is bad for you. Allah knows, and you know not. What is the meaning of it? This verse reminds us to drive on wisdom over personal desire. Islam teaches us to strive sincerely, leave results to Allah. True peace comes from the trusting His wisdom. Yeah, this is what Quran says. What Bible says? Many are the plans in person's heart, but it's Lord's purpose that prevails. Christianity also emphasizes that faith offers the comfort. Even Vedathriyam also says in Tamil, தப்பு கணக்கிட்டு தானொன்றை எதிர்பார்த்தால் உப்புமோ இயற்கை விதி. English version of that. If you expect something by miscalculation, it is a misalignment over the nature's law. So every spirituality emphasizes on intentions. We spoke what is the gap between the intentions and the expectations. Every spirituality is advising us to sorry, focus on intentions rather on expectations. Okay. So far, we have discussed what is expectation and how do we manage the expectations. We got a key message that we have to focus, keep on intentions rather expectations. And we also learned, we also seen the spiritual quote, which also says to focus on intention. Now let's discuss on practical. Is it practically possible? Yes, we all know. When we start the session, in the beginning of the session only, you all agreed that we have to manage the expectations. Though we discussed about, for the past 15 minutes, we discussed many things about expectations. But is it practically possible? Is it practically possible? What is the difficulty in implementing it? There's the question again. As a common man, are you suffering due to mismatch of expectations in the past or future? The question is, in your practical life, many times things not happened as expected. So did you, or you wanted to happen, which is not happening? It is a continuous process. So are you struggling more on the past or by thinking about future? I like to once again give more expectation from this question. Are you struggling based on the past expectations because there was a mismatch between your expectation and reality, or you are struggling about the future expectations which is not fulfilled? I like to get your response. Past or future, where we struggle more? Where we struggle more? Future, past, future. More on future. Future. Good. The chat box says that we are worrying more about the future, which has not happened as of now. Yeah. Okay. Good. So now let us discuss about what our master said in order to fulfill the expectations. See, if we want to achieve something, everything about cause and effect. So our guru said, if you wanted to achieve something, if you expect something, you need to focus on the following parameters, which are the key attributors for the results. You all mentioned that future, future, future. You are worrying about the future. We are worrying about the future. So in order to achieve our future goals or desires, or in order to get the results as expected, there are parameters. Purpose, what is your goal purpose? Ability to execute, time, place, people whom individual associate, and situations. These 6 parameters are the key parameters which contribute for the result. When we wanted to achieve something, we need to ensure that, as we discussed before, our aim should be always on the intention. When we have a goal, we have to focus more on intention. When we focus more on intention, we need to ensure that we are putting our effort in a right direction in all these six parameters, which are very, very important. Purpose, what is the goal? Is the goal is achieved or not? Or can we able to execute the goal or not? And what is the our strength to execute that when we perform the task to achieve the goal? What is our strength to execute? It's very, very important actually. And what is the time? What is the time which we take, or in which scenario we are expecting that goal to achieve, and which scenario we are putting our effort, and the place also matters. Where we wanted to, where we are putting the effort. Are we putting in the right place or wrong place? And in order to achieve the goal, with people with whom we associate, and what scenario we are doing it. Here, I'd like to quote an example, a story from Mahabharata. All you know that the key essence of Mahabharata, through which the saint Vedavyas is telling about, do your duty without attachment to the results. Do your duty without attachments to the results. Right action is your responsibility and not results. Yeah, this is the core essence of Mahabharata. Here, there is a character called Uttavar. He is the cousin brother of Lord Krishna, and he wants to clarify many things on the Mahabharata story. And they were having the dialogue in order to. Mr. Uttava was asking some question from Lord Krishna to get few clarifications. One of the doubts which Mr. Uttava was asking to Lord Krishna, Pandavas are, you are a well-wisher of Pandavas. And the whole story is all about the root cause of the story is that game, the gambling, which they have done it. Why you did not stop the gambling at that point of time? If you have done it, definitely the whole misery would have not happened. This was a question. And Lord Krishna replied in the story, life is all about cause and effect. What you perform, how you perform, results are going to come. Here, in this story or in this scenario, what Duryodhana did, what Dharma did. He also explained that when we wanted to perform any task, we should have a clear wisdom, and we should also exercise the prudence to execute it properly. That's what the second parameter said, ability to execute. He has mentioned that there, Duryodhana took a very wise decision, and he has deputed his uncle Sagni to play on behalf of him. But here, the Dharma has not executed the same wisdom. He would have called Lord Krishna that to me, but he has not done it. So here, what is the key essence which we are getting? If a person who is executing it properly, where the person who exercises the prudence very judiciously, he'll get the result successfully. Here, Duryodhana has done that part effectively, perfectly, whereas Dharma lacks in the execution. So this is the first message he has given. Second, also the purpose. In fact, Dharma don't want to show this, even the information to, he thinks that even Lord Krishna should not know about this game at all. So that was his thought. So his aim also is not good. Also, when he plays, people whom we associate is also very important. When he is playing with the people who are not supporting or who wants to do some cheating, definitely he should be extra care. There is a message he has given. And in the dialogue, he has also, the Lord Krishna has given many clarifications about how the life has to go and how we should have a God consciousness. In fact, let's not go in detail about that. Here, what is the message here is that whoever is executing it properly, whoever is using the wisdom, whoever is having the habit of exercising prudence will get a success for sure. Even if they are not doing it properly, definitely then the results will not as expected. That is the key message we are getting it here. Even practically, when you see in the office scenario, if we wanted to correct the team members, our purpose is to get the results from the team member. When we do the review, we feel that some of the team member is not performing well. So here, what is the team leader's expectation? His expectation is to transform the team, and the team also should perform well. That is the expectation. But when we execute, again, we need to see all these six parameters are executed properly or not. if you wanted to advise the team member who is not performing well, we should not do it when every team member is present. Many times it happens, even in my office also, in the morning meeting happened. A team leader also always, he used to talk about the low performer and he used to criticize the low performer in front of everyone. Here, what has happened? Again, I always fit this all six parameters whenever we execute. I also used to advise him. Yes, your expectation, your purpose is good. Your purpose is you want them to perform well. That is good. But how you are executing it, that is also very important. And where you are trying to correct, and scenario wherein you are trying to correct. If you wanted to transform him, call inside the room, between the walls, and try to give advice. If you give an advice in front of everyone, definitely it will not be treated, it will not be taken properly. Yeah. So I have given two examples, one from Agabarda and a real-time office scenario. So all of us, when we want to achieve something, when we are expecting something, we need to focus on intentions. And it is very important that we put a right efforts in all six parameters which Swamiji has given. So this is the specialty of our Guru. Yeah. Many people talk about intentions. They also keep telling about intentions. Even we have seen the spiritual quote also. But nobody has given the practical approach to ensure that we are getting a success in our intentions so that there will not be any mismatch on the expectations and our reality. Even if it happens, what has to be done? He has also given the plan for that. So all these parameters are very important. I just want all of you to go through the all six parameters mentally, and you can be able to fit your future expectations. Many of us agreed that future expectations is worrying factor. So when the future expectation is a worrying factor, we need to ensure that our efforts are right in all six directions. I just give a 30 seconds for you to digest this slide. Good. So far, whatever we discussed, the key message, we should have expectations. We got to focus on intentions, especially as per our master guidelines. These six parameters are very, very important. We got to put it in the right direction. Anyone would like to share some thought on it? When we talk about future expectation, are we putting the effort in all these six parameters or not? You can unmute yourself and you can also talk.
Basically, you can raise your hand so that I can unmute you.
Anand, would you like to share your thought?
Yeah, I could see one of the answer, right? Not at all times. Yeah, really, it's as you have given the both the examples. It will be practically challenging for us to manage in practical life, especially with close relationship, right? So, yeah, we may not be able to do that in all moments. But as we all know, the philosophical message and the Guru's Vedatriyam path is also guiding us to manage that, particularly our emotions in all situations related to the expectations. Yeah, so with all these positive changes and continuous reformation, when we follow that sincerely, we'll be able to achieve that, what we wanted. Yeah, I think now Mr. Ayana Chala also got unmuted. Yeah, you can share, Mr. Ayana.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Good morning, all of you. Am I audible?
Yeah, very well.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So whatever that points, it is not as I informed in chat box also. Maybe we can't follow when the reality comes or the expectations are comes in mind. No? So automatically, that's what even in the beginning also I read, and our intentional or maybe unintentional, automatically that express comes. But the points what you have given, the time, purpose, and all those things, maybe we are not exactly following. But when, as our Anand sir said, reformation by doing good things, positive way of living life, then automatically it will give a positive result as per me. That's
Yeah,
what.
well said, Mr. China. Yeah, well said. See, when we talk about expectations with three core associates, can anyone can tell which all, Mr. China, you can tell what are the three core characters whom we have a very close associate, we should balance the expectations properly, in your opinion?
From according to me, maybe as another are close relatives and friends and maybe well wishes. These are the three core people. Maybe can't exactly expects.
Yeah, right. You're right. In fact, I can share my thought. Is somebody has mentioned spouse, child, and subordinate. Yeah, very well said. And yes, even if I'm in my point of view also, life, life partner, and close friends and associate, we can group them into one category, and trade office colleague. All three relations are very, very important. When we talk about life partner, we all know that Samji has given many good tips about family peace. So if implement those family tips, definitely it will helpful us to manage the expectation of the life partner very effectively. Yeah.
Yeah.
So most of the time, if you listen properly and try to understand them, then even the first two categories, the life partner and also the close associates, if we listen to them properly, put our leg in their shoes and try to visualize from them, it's going to solve the purpose, and it will help for us to manage the expectations, or to receive the expectation which you want from them. And again, when you talk about office colleagues, are very, very important in all professional going people, and especially the team leaders, when they wanted to get the output from the team, it is very, very important that we are communicating well to the team. And again, always we need to fit this all six parameters, which are very, very important. When we take care of this, it is really helpful. It will be helpful, and also it ensures that we are getting the result. In fact, in my practical life examples, whichever I gone through so far, whenever the expectations are not as per the reality, I always found that I lack in any one of these six parameters. That's why result has not come as per expectation. Then when we try to correct it, then success is coming. So good. So with this, we will be concluding this discussion session. So we all about expectations management. Rather focus on expectations, focus on our intentions, which are very important. When we focus on intentions, as per our master guidelines, let us focus on all six parameters, so which will ensure that the results are positive. Even if the results are not positive, then we should also have the mindset to keep the plan B. So with this message, I'd like to conclude my discussion session. Any further questions, you can feel free to ask.